your son for the third time. Take my words as the truth. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead chooses a mother and father from whom to take birth again and again. The Lord took birth originally from Sutapa and Prishni, then from Kashyapa and Aditi, and again from the same father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki. In other appearances also, the Lord said, I took the form of an ordinary child just to become your son, so that we could reciprocate eternal love. Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his Krishna Sundar 96th chapter, where he notes that in text 37, the Lord says, Amuna Vapusha, meaning by the same form. In other words, the Lord told Devaki, this time I have appeared in my original form as Sri Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami says that the other forms were partial expansions of the Lord's original form, but because of the intense love developed by Prishni and Sutapa, the Lord appeared from Devaki and Vasudeva in his full opulence as Sri Krishna. In this verse, the Lord confirms, I am the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, but I appear in full opulence as Sri Krishna. This is the purport of the words Teneva Vapusha. When the Lord mentioned the birth of Prishni Garbha, he did not say Teneva Vapusha, but he assured Devaki that in the third birth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, had appeared, not his partial expansion. Prishni Garbha and Vamana were partial expansions of Krishna. But in this third birth, Krishna himself appeared. This is the explanation given in Shri Krishna Sandarbha by Srila Jiva Goswami. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Srakaya Shashulmitam Gyanatasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, we're still on the appearance of Lord Shri Krishna. And the whole point of this Krishna speaking to Devaki and Vasudeva is to let them know that he is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are the same persons who already had him as his child in previous birth. So this is not amongst all Krishna's appearances, this is of course the most special, because this is Krishna in his original form, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I think we can really say that this refers to what Prabhupada says, that Prabhupada coined this expression, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Godhead has many personalities, but he has one Supreme Personality, and that's him, that's the original one, the original candle. Brahma Samhita says, like, you light up candles, many candles, but they all look the same, but there was one original one. So Krishna, Nandanandana, the Vrajeshatanaya, is the original one. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshatanaya Tadthama Vrindavanam. This is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Aradhyo Bhagavan, who is this Bhagavan? Vrajesha Tanaya, Tadhama Vrindavanam. Vrajesha Tanaya, Vrajesha, who is Vraja Isha, who is the Lord of Vraj, Nanda Maharaj, and who is the son of the Lord of Vraj, Krishna. Although he appeared in the prison, in the jail, Mathura, as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, he is actually the eternal son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So we can argue that many people argue in India, not in the West, but in India, that this form is supreme, that form is supreme. I think you had very recently some people like this here, 2 days ago, I think, saying that Narayan is supreme. But though all the scriptures we have actually point out that Krishna is the origin of all of them. We have this Brahma Samhita, which is Ramadimurti Shukala Niyamidatishtan Nana Avataram Akarud Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Svayam Samabhavat Paramam Pumanyo Ramadi Murtishu. There are many forms of Krishna, like such as Rama, Vamana, all these 10 Dashavatars, and so many more. But Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. This is also the emperor of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Iti Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishna Stus Bhagavan Swayam. These two is actually separates the two categories. Is Iti Chamsa Kala Pumsam. Amsa Kala, expansions of expansions. Then there is Krishna Swayam. There is the Supreme Personality. So Krishna is Avatari, and also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Avatari. Although I think they are the only two who are Avatari. Others are not counted as Avatari. And we see in their pastimes actually that they manifested at times these other forms. We see like Krishna in the Rasa dance, we have this pastime when Krishna disappeared from the midst of the gopis, and he hid somewhere, and the gopis were looking for him, and finally in far distance they saw him. So when he was caught, he quickly disguised himself, manifesting his four-arm forms as Narayan. And the gopis, they came by and they saw Narayan, they just said Namo Narayanaya for the obeisances. And they said, have you seen Krishna? And he said, he's gone this way. But when Srimati Radharani came, and he could not keep his form as Narayan, and his two extra arms were retracting, and because of the pure love of Srimati Radharani. And I heard recently a pastime also of Radha Krishna in the forest, told by Indradyumna Maharaj how one day Srimati Radharani was curious to see the pastime, the form of Krishna as Ramachandra, and he started to manifest the mood of Ramachandra, and he turned into this greenish form, and Srimati Radharani turned into Sita, and everything transformed in the forest, and they found themselves in the forest of Dandakaranya, like this. And then after some time they come back to there. And there is many pastimes. Of course, with Lord Chaitanya, we have many pastimes like this. We have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was hearing Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam, and he got into the mood of, he didn't take the form, I believe, but he took the mood of Nishingadev. And said, where are these demons, and he came out of the house of Shiva's Pandit and started to run in the street looking for the demons, and he was like looking so ferocious that everybody was running in fear. And finally he got pacified, he came back and he said, what did I do? Didn't want to scare the people. But also, of course, one time he visited Murari Gupta in his home, and there was this pot, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu transformed into Varahadev. He called the pot of Murari Gupta and his tusks as the Lord Varahadev. We have here Lord Varahadev, he holds the earth, and he was in ecstatic mood like this. In the this 72 hours pastime of Lord Vishnu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifesting the form of Lord Vishnu, also to Murari Gupta actually. He manifested, he told him, you are actually Hanuman, and he manifested his Rama, Sita form. Any other pastime where he manifests another avatar? Sadbhuja, yeah, I should remember, I have Sadbhuja at home. So he manifested Sadbhuja, I think, to 3 people. One was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, actually when you still visit the home of, one of that, where he was staying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri.
Gundicha?
No, that's the other one.
Kashi Mishra's.
Kashi Mishra's home. You have a painting on the wall where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as Sadbhuja. He manifested. So, form of Krishna and Ramachandra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, holding the danda, kamandalu, flute, bow and arrow. And he manifested also this form to Nityananda Prabhu one time, and he manifested also this form to Ramananda Roy, on the bank of the Godavari, I believe.
And he showed a universal form to Advaita Acharya?
Oh, and he showed, because Advaita Acharya was, maybe because he's Mahavishnu, or because Advaita Acharya was very much preaching from Bhagavad Gita actually, before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Sometimes we think that, preaching from Bhagavad Gita is for neophytes. Advaita Acharya was preaching from Bhagavad Gita, of course Prabhupada.
No, I think it was an impersonalist book. It was
or maybe sometimes when he wanted to get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu angry.
Yeah.
But otherwise he would, I read that he would preach from Bhagavad Gita a lot. So, but do we have Lord Varaden manifesting the form of Krishna or Ramachandra? Do we have the form of Ramachandra manifesting another form? Do we have the form of Kurma manifesting, another form? No, they can't because, they can't. They don't because they just contain themselves. And Narayan doesn't manifest the form of Krishna. So one who can do more can do less, as we said. So in this way, we see that she really got the jackpot, we could say. Devaki, she got Krishna as the original personality of Godhead as her child. And this pastime also shows another thing, it shows how Devaki, before generating or having Krishna appears as her child, had to go through lots of trials, lots of pains. She had to lose her first 6 sons, and she also, the 7th one appeared like a miscarriage. But she had to lose her first 6 sons, and we know the story that Narada Muni, Kamsa, he was more or less pacified by Vasudeva, and he let him go. But then Narada Muni came and said, "Don't be careful." I went to that meeting when, in the heavenly planets. There was a big meeting, and I was invited in that meeting. And that meeting was all the demigods. And they decided that they would appear because Lord Vishnu would appear, and they would appear on earth. So they are actually everywhere. The demigods are, watch out, they are everywhere. So Kamsa really got scared, and he became paranoid that maybe, the Supreme can be anywhere, everywhere, these demigods are everywhere, everybody's my enemy. And then, he started to, he caught back Vasudeva, Devaki, put them in jail, and started to kill all their children. So, of course, we know also that the story, as the pastimes goes, that the 6 children, they were actually Vasus, and the incarnates, Kam, Krod, Lobh, Moha, Matsarya, and Moha. Matsarya, Mada. Yeah. So, you have read this already, but we see also that how Narada Muni, by giving this message to Kamsa, he kind of quickens the pastimes. He make it happen quickly, and it's like, you could say, like the Guru wants you to become Krishna conscious quickly. So he makes sure that all your anarthas are destroyed quickly. He wants the Guru actually, by his actions, by his instructions, sometimes puts us under pressure, under apparent austerity, suffering, you know. But actually, his whole goal is that we become free from our anarthas, anartho pasamam shakshat bhakti yoga maduksaje, that these anarthas, they are actually useless. What's the meaning of anartha? Artha means useful or valuable. Anartha means no value. Even though we put so much value on these things, actually they are all with very little value. So the Guru is actually putting us into situations where these anarthas we will get rid of these anarthas. We see that in the pastimes of Krishna and his eternal associates like Devaki and Vasudeva, or the Pandavas or Kunti, Krishna makes arrangements and puts them in the most grievous situations, in the most painful situations, and they pass the test all the time. Like Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and they do this so that we don't have any excuse, that they were put in this situation, but look at me, it's much worse. Even maybe we can think that Prabhupada's pastime, when he ended up his lila on the earth, that he could have left, in good health in the midst of a kirtan or something, but he manifested this pastime of becoming so ill and his body was so much deteriorated, so that he showed us, because he taught us during all his stay on earth that whatever we do, we have to remember Krishna at the time of death, and that was his teaching by example, that even in the most difficult situation, the Ayurvedic doctor, Kaviraj, he said that a normal person should be screaming in agony, and Prabhupada was still translating in pure consciousness. This is a pure miracle, actually, that he could do this. He could, in such a state, when people are under morphine and they prefer to be unconscious, he was not only conscious, but he was super Krishna conscious, as usual, and he was giving, the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. So as Lord Krishna's appearance is very rare and unique, it's happening one time every day of Brahma, so every 8,640,000,000 years. So it's very unique, because Krishna's appearances in this world are as numerous as the waves in the ocean. There are so many, but Krishna in his original form, he comes for us very rarely, for Brahma every day. But still, he has long days, very long days. For us, it's like infinite time almost, according to our 70 years or 80 years, 100 years. It's very, very long time. But as much as Krishna is it's very rare to see Krishna appearing in his original form, it's very rare to find a devotee of Krishna. Devotees of Krishna are also very rare. And we have many shlokas, many shlokas in the Shastras letting us know that, first of all, this human birth of life, this human form is very rare. Actually, just read recently that Bhaktivinoda Thakur would keep a verse on the wall that was very dear, of course, to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And what was his verse? Quite famous, Prabhupada quotes it a lot. Labva sudu labamidam bahusam bhavante manushyam artadam anityam apiyadira turnam yateta napatit anubrityu yavat nishe yasaya vishaya kalusarvatasya. So, labva sudu labamidam bahusam bhavante. That labva sudu labamidam, it's very, very rare. Dulabha means difficult. Sudu labha means very difficult to get this human form of life. Bahusam bhavante, after many, many births. You get these two hands, this head, and like human form, very rare. Labva sudu labam Manushyam, this human form of life. Why is it so unique? Because Anityam is, as the other forms, it's Anityam, it's not eternal form, this is not a spiritual form. It is not that we are humans, we realize we are not this body, we are just humans. No, we are not humans as much as we are not animals or plants or trees. We are not humans. We are not. We are not this human form of life. Because this human form of life, we are not, it may look like maybe our original form little more if we are, in the spiritual world. I heard recently that when Mataji was initiated and she heard that we could be a blade of grass in the spiritual world, and she was very much flipping out. If I'm a blade of grass, eternally stuck in the form of a blade of grass. And she was thinking like this in a class, and she was really anxious. And Prabhupada spoke, and as many times, Prabhupada looked directly into her eyes and said, actually, in the spiritual world, everybody has a human form, but they can take different shapes. Prabhupada would answer questions from devotees, from disciples, without them asking them. And usually he looked straight in their eyes, So he was like really external manifestation of Paramatma. They could experience this. So, but we are not this human form of life either. So why is it so special? Because Anityam, Artadam, it can give us the greatest valuable thing. We said that Anartha means unvaluable, and Artha, Paramartha, the greatest thing, Artadam. What is this thing? So what do we have to do? Turnam yateta napatet anumritu yavat. Turnam, we have immediately, we should not wait any second. Turnam yateta, yati means endeavoring. Yati means, it's another name for a sannyasi, is a yati, is a renunciate, is endeavoring. Turnam yateta napatet anumritu yavat. Patet means falling. We have patatrak in French. Patet means falling down. And patet anumritu yavat. As long as this body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen flat on the floor. Literally, it means this, Anumritu yavat. Patet anumritu yavat means it has not fallen. Anumritu yavat. As long as this body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen flat on the floor, we should nishayasa, we should endeavor for the supreme good, the supreme shreya. This word shreya, priya. Priya means immediate, shreya means ultimate good. Nishayasa, kalu sarvatasyat. Why? Kalu sarvatasyat, because after all, sense gratification is available in any form of life. Taravor ki na jivanti, brashtranim kim nasvasantuta, nakadanti na mehanti, kim grame pashavopare. This is one of the first verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Do the trees do not live? Taravo kim na jivanti, brashtra kim nasvasantuta. Do the bellow of this, what you call it, this means the one who does this iron. Goldsmith, do not breathe. Like this. Nakadanti namianti kim grame pashavopare. Do we not see the animals in the villages, eating and mating? So this is not the goal of life, doing these things. So this is very unique, and so human form of life is very unique. And amongst, for one who has gotten this human form of life, amongst them, Manushyanam Sasheshu Kashtidyatati Sidaye. One who endeavors for the spiritual life is very rare, Krishna says. Among millions, there is only one. And among these millions who are endeavoring, there is, Krishna says, Kachit Mam Beti Tatpata. There is only one who knows me. So this is very, very special. We got a devotee of Krishna is very rare actually. And we can see that when we go out in the street, we meet so many people. They seem to be very intelligent, but they just don't get it. They don't get it, you know. It's like so extraordinary, you know, that they don't endeavor to understand who they are and that they have a short life and that they're gonna, you know, one day leave everything behind. For a devotee, it seems obvious that, you know, it's like putting all your, as we say in French, putting all your eggs in the same basket, you know. It's like, you know, you put your eggs in the same basket, this body, you know, and then you drop it, it breaks, you know, and so this is like stupid, actually, so stupid, you know, to endeavor for something that you're going to lose. That's why also a devotee is considered very intelligent. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that Krishna thinks my devotee is very intelligent. Why? Because he's giving me this body which is worth nothing, not only a few cents, you know. When this body dies, it's worth nothing actually. At least the body of an elephant is worth something when it dies, you know. But this human form of life is worth nothing, you know. And then you get, Krishna says, he gives me this one life, this one body, and he gets an extraordinary reward in exchange. He gets eternal life with myself. So Krishna says the devotee is a very intelligent person. Let's see what I have here. So far, any point, any question, any comment on Krishna's unique form, rareness of human life, even more rare. Even more rare to get into touch with spiritualists. This song of Govinda Das. This song, you know, the song we always sing. Dulaba Madhava Janama Satsangi. Dulaba Madhava, very rare, and Satsangi, to get the association of devotees is, it's so rare. Dulaba Madhava Janama Satsangi. We can see how many devotees are there, you know, so few. And only in the association of devotees can we get the determination to chant, to serve, and even though the situation externally may be difficult, but it's nothing actually. It's like when Mataji was saying, Mayapur is very hard, you know, it's very hard, but compared to what I would have to endure if I go to hell, this is not hard at all. I better stay in Mayapur, you know. So, yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Because we have, you know, said familiarity brings contempt.
Yeah.
So we have a tendency to forget, you know, opportunity. We tendency to see, okay, this doesn't work. How to avoid, you know, what to do. To be more appreciative.
Yeah. Well, the answer we always get to this kind of question is that you associate with people who are conscious of the value, who take it more seriously than you. We see devotees there's always devotees, you know, we are not starting from the same point. You see devotees like there are a few lifetimes, I guess, you know, they catch up devotional service. When they meet devotees, they go like a rocket, you know, straight, nishta, immediately, first day, nishta. You never see them, you know, like, maybe, no, yeah, should I go back to this, should I go back to that? They're just like, yeah, Krishna, of course. It's you, that's not your life, you know. So they are nishta. Anishta, this is what you describe is anishta, anishtita bhakti, you know, it's like this famous book, Anishtita Bhakti, you know, by which was like the symptoms of Anishtita Bhakti, you know. Madhurya Kadambini, you know, sometimes we are intense, sometimes we are loose, you know, sometimes we are enthusiastic, sometimes we are like, depressed, you know. So this is symptoms of anishtita bhakti. So and just by knowing that if we go on with experience, we know that the class will go, you know, and then we again become conscious of, you know, that of the precious gift we've received, you know. So Krishna, for his devotees, any devotee has experienced this, you know, these moments of the curtains, you know, opens for a few seconds at least. Let us, you know, test something or have some realization, you know. And this is really strong and very, and you know, and we should remember these moments. And and we should read also. Actually, we should read a lot, because Krishna says, you know, that you know, these four verses of Bhagavad Gita, and aham sarvasya prabhavo, mata sarvam parvartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samamvita, that one who understands these glories of me, he serves me, he becomes enlightened, you know, because sometimes our buffalo brain, you know, we are like dull, tamogun, you know, this is, you know, actually, it's not that actually familiarity breeds contempt. It's not that we become so close to Krishna that, you know, we got familiar, we got so close to pure devotional service. It's actually we get far away, we get covered by tamogun, you know, and we see things again through our, you know, glasses of tamogun and rajogun. So aham sarvasya prabhavo. When one hears these glories of Krishna, he becomes determined, and when devotee makes the point that the devotional service nourishes the intelligence, because he becomes Buddha. Buddha means his buddhi, his intelligence is enlightened, and also Buddha bhava samamvita. Bhava is the heart. So the intellect gets nourished and the heart gets nourished. So on the intellectual platform, one gets determined, one gets inspired, and bhava samamvita on the level of the heart, one gets also some emotions. So by reading and studying, and you know, we have to hear again and again the same things. The devotional life is a kind of repetition. We hear the same thing basically, apart from, you know, very intimate things, but we usually hear the same thing in the beginning, in the middle, at the end. Srimad Bhagavatam is very elevated, Chaitanya Charitamrita is very elevated, you know, but we hear the same things, but it's like a spiral, you know, spiral, we say. Yeah. You go up, but you go up, it's according to your realization, according to even the level, even the universe, you know, these descriptions in the 5th canto, everything is according, the vision changes according to the level of consciousness. You know, these things, you know, are like, I saw recently a devotee making a presentation on, you know, this cosmogony, Vedic cosmogony, and sometimes it's good also for the intellect, for the heart, when we see that they can prove something, because he's showing how this, you know, Ilavrita Varsha and these Kim Purusha Varshas and the description in the Bhagavatam, in the Vedas, you know, they look so different. These different islands, on the map, they may look so different from the map we have, you know. But actually, he was showing on slides, he's an Indian scientist, he's very intelligent. He was showing that if you see, because we have this map of Earth, you know, but it's flat, you know. It's like, it's not actually a real representation of what we see, because it's flat. You know, the North Pole is not this big, you know, like the bottom of the map, you know, isn't it? Or the top of the map, you know, this. And he's showing that they have the UN nations, they have these laurels, and they have a map of the world in the middle, in their logo. And you see, the thing is, the world is seen from above, the planet Earth is seen from above. You know? And when you see it from above, actually, and he was showing a slide with this Kim Purusha Varsha, and So they are situated here, there, different places on the map. I mean, on the slide, according to the measurements given in the Vedas. And you put the map of the Earth, it's completely different. But when you put it from above, it fits exactly. Plus, he was quoting from different scriptures, Mahabharata, different Puranas, describing in this Varsha, this Kimpurusha Varsha, I don't remember which one was which one, but said like Kimpurusha Varsha, the people are all black and they are very strong, and it's Africa actually. And this other Varsha, the people have golden, golden color, it's China. And different. It was really corresponding like anything. But according to our consciousness, we see things differently, and more deeper we go, we get realizations on the same things we hear every day. So we have to go deep. We have to go deep in our rounds. We should not, maybe not to, just to finish the point, that not to become familiarity with contempt. So we should just try always to go deep, and everything else can go to hell. We don't mind, We should go deep in our spiritual life. It's like, yeah.
I want to make a little linguistic remark. I'm reading again the book of Stephen Knapp, showing that Vedic culture was all over the world, the original and in the language, and I was into linguistic, like traiter, three. In French we have trois, in English we have three. So the root, a lot of words, they say they come from Latin, but Latin comes from Sanskrit also,
There are many words. Manusha, man.
Yeah.
Prabhupada always quotes this one.
Yeah.
Soup. You read in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there was a description of Krishna's items, being served at, in the evening. And there's one is soup, and it's soup. Soup. Anything liquid, like hot thing, liquid means is soup. S-U-P. Soup. Many things like this, yeah. Kazakhstan, Stan means place, it's like, yeah.
All this country.
In the future, we maybe there will be more and more devotees. Now they are having this big work on the Vedic planetarium, because they have to figure out how to show this thing from the 5th canto. But very intelligent devotees. They have actually a YouTube channel. You can look. And the Akandadi Prabhu is the one who saved the manor in Bhaktivinoda. Are you from England?
Yeah.
Okay, Akandadi Prabhu. He saved the manor. The manor to campaign. He was the temple president at that time. Now he's like into science, like anything. His whole thing is consciousness. The whole thing, consciousness, to show that consciousness doesn't come from the brain. Whole thing. Because they say this, when you speak to atheistic people, they say life comes from the brain, everything comes from the brain, everything is in the brain, the feelings are in the brain, everything. So his whole thing is to show, they are making research. The last day I went to my deities, and in the morning I saw Krishna's peacock feather, and it was so obvious when I saw the peacock feather. It's so obvious it's made by somebody, Just as the dress of the deity was made by my wife. So obvious, that the wife, very elaborated, and I saw the peacock feather. Of course, it's made by somebody. So unique, a peacock feather, Maybe Krishna is wearing this peacock feather to prove that he's the creator. It's so nicely done, It's like these different colors and like so beautiful, Anyway, let's stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you.
Gopal Prabhu ki jai.
Jayanti, we're doing something special?
Sorry?
Gita Jayanti Friday.
Yes, we are going on distributing